So I'm sure you guys have had these shower thoughts before while you're taking a shower or you're taking a dookie and you're just thinking about some random things about Osu. Perhaps you were thinking about that time you choked a play, or perhaps you'll be thinking about who is the most glazed Osu player. And this guy out here obviously had that shower thought in this Reddit post, Mr. Perfect Dinner 8789. He's saying who's the most glazed Osu player. I just want to talk about that subject for a bit and also just give my own thoughts and just give my own wisdom about this topic. So obviously when you guys think of the first Osu player that is just the most glazed, the first person that comes to mind is Shigetora, right? Cookie Z, the absolute goat of playing Osu. He's out here choking 1.6Ks on Hidden Hard Rock on Joshin. He's out here getting 727 PP on Blue Zenith, getting Freedom Dive FC's Hidden Hard Rock. That play getting buffed if every rework. Like, he's just the absolute goat of a lot of things, and a lot of people have very fond memories of Cookie Z and Shigetora. I know that I really like Cookie Z. I'm honestly a big fan of him, and it's the Shige 100%, and like, it's not even close because he is the most glazed Osu player of all time. Of course, there's going to be other people that contend for that name, so I like this guy's list in this comment section where he's saying number 1 Shige, as I said, number 2 Vaxe, number 3 White Get, number 4 Emrek, number 5 Forum, number 6 Marami. I feel like Forum doesn't get as glazed as the other ones, and Emrek doesn't get as glazed as the other ones, but I agree with Shige, Vaxe, White Cat, and Marami, because the main common occurrence for who is the most glazed Osu player is that they have such a distinct skill set, or they're just so different from the rest of the Osu players, where they're literally number 1 in their own category. So Shige, for example, he's number 1 in the most glazed Osu player in this aspect because he was the most dominant Osu player back then. He's not really the most dominant Osu player now. It's basically Emrek, but Emrek is basically following in Shige's shadow, and is basically the shadow of Shige in terms of that dominance. So I feel like that watering down, that trickle down effect doesn't give as much popularity to Emrek, because Shige was the first person to be the most dominant one. Emrek is now the second dominant one, so perhaps the third one is going to be even less notable in my opinion for Osu game. And then there's also the other players here, Vaxe. So Vaxe is obviously very glazed because he was the best tournament player of all time. He is not the best tournament player nowadays. It is more like Malashevsky or a worse hard rock player, but back then he was the absolute goat of tourney. Like, if you saw Vaxe in a tourney, you'd be like, oh well, that team's gonna win, or he's gonna win, well, might as well just give him the money now. Like, that was like the meme of Vaxe, where he would just show up in tournaments just because he wanted the money. And Vaxe, like, I respect the grind for that, but he was basically the best Osu tournament player ever, and also the first player to ever sit a 1K, so he's gonna get glazed for a lot of good reasons. He's first in a lot of things. He's the first best Osu tournament player in that aspect, and also the first in terms of that getting that 1K. And then White Cat here, he's the first person to be printing 1Ks like fucking crazy, right? So that's his thing right here. And then Marami, he's the first Osu speed player, the first legit Osu speed player. Like, speed players nowadays have access to things like rapid trigger on routine. They'll be able to tap like crazy without even having to try that hard, and they'll just get crazy plays. But Marami back then, he didn't have access to that. He's probably using some membrane keyboard from the Dollar Tree, and he's going faster than like most speed players nowadays. Like, it's honestly still respectable for Marami here, since he was doing that before rapid trigger was even a thing. So he was the first speed player. So all these people, why they are the most Osu glazed players ever, is because they were the first in their aspects and categories. If I were trying to think of another Osu player that gets glazed a lot, it doesn't really get glazed that more, like Roaz, El Marami, he was super fucking glazed back then because he had a fucking 1K as a 4-digit. Who the fuck else has a 4-digit has a 1K? Obviously that person is very distinct and unique in that aspect, where you're gonna glaze him a lot because he's unique like that. The life lesson here in terms of my wisdom that I would like to bestow upon you is that to be the most glazed person in any aspect, you have to be the first person in it, and you have to be unique in that characteristic, because a lot of us, we're not really that different, right? If you just think about Osu players in general, you're gonna be like, oh well, there's gonna be types of Osu players. You got the AIM players, the stream players, and then you look at the top plays for all the Osu players here and there. You're gonna look at your average 5-digit, 4-digit, and you're gonna look at the same top plays. You're gonna see those same top plays. But some of these players out here, like Shige, Vaxe, White Cat, Forum, Marami, Emrek, like, these guys have very distinct top plays that sets them as a different cut from the other players out here, the other top players, because they're not really blending into the crowd here, since they have something extremely unique about them. That is like the life lesson I would like to bestow upon you, where to be the most glazed player in like any aspect, like, it doesn't even have to be Osu. You have to be the number 1 and just be the most dominant, or just be the most unique in that category. So I just wanted to give that bit of value and wisdom in this video about that topic. But besides that, I also want to address some things of me pronouncing Sytho's name wrong. So I was basically making a video about Sytho, getting RSI, and people were commenting, oh my god, he's pronouncing like sytho or sytho, and I was like, okay, what the fuck? So I basically made a poll to ask people how you're supposed to pronounce Sisso's name, and people are giving this answer of saying, so I basically did Sisto or Sytho, and everyone's saying Sytho, so I guess that's how you're supposed to say his name. So from now on, I will say Sisso's or Sytho's name as Sytho. So I can't really pronounce my THs that well. I don't know if I have a fucking weird lisp or anything, so I just kind of say like Sytho, or instead of like Sytho, or I don't know, dude. I cannot pronounce my THs that well. I'm sorry, guys, but I'll try my best to pronounce Sytho's name for now on whenever I talk about him in any videos. But I really do hope that he gets better with his RSI issues right here. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the most glazed osu player and give a bit of value about this, because I felt like this topic was just so fucking weird, because I recorded this video for like the 10th time now, and every time I'm just like stopping midway through and I'm like, dude, why am I even making this fucking video? But then I was thinking, okay, well, I made this YouTube channel because I wanted to, well, it was just to be blunt, I made it just so I can make osu videos and make money with it. But then now it's not really about that anymore. I just wanted to make these YouTube videos to improve my speaking skills. But then I was like, okay, well, I don't really know if that's even the right thing to do. So perhaps the better thing to have a bit more purpose with this YouTube channel is to provide value, whether that is through entertainment, where you guys are listening to my yapping and you just listen to the background noise and you get value out of that. Well, that's fine too. Or perhaps I'm also going to give a bit of wisdom and my own insights, and perhaps you could apply that to your own lives, and that could be that bit of value that I provide in this video. So the value that I provide in this video is that, okay, well, the most glazed osu player, well, it's obviously Shige. But why is it Shige? Because he's so unique and characteristic in his aspect. So if you also want to be the most glazed in any other aspect as well, doesn't even have to be osu, you have to be that unique person in terms of that niche and that characteristic, or you're going to be set as a different cut from the rest of the breed. So that is that bit of wisdom that I just want to give in my own insight about that topic. So perhaps you guys could use that on your own career or something. Like, you're going through school trying to apply to all the jobs and shit, and you're like, well, how can I get this job and be the GOAT? Well, I gotta be the different breed, a different cut. I gotta put like all of my crazy qualifications in. I gotta show them my portfolio and shit. I don't know, man. Like, perhaps it could give some value to someone, because I want to make these YouTube videos to not only just talk about my own life circumstances and to also improve my speaking skills, but also to just help other people, because that feels very purposeful for me to just help people. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say in this video. And also, this video is a video idea made by Shy Y in my Discord server. So Shy here gets 1 month of osu supporter for this YouTube video idea. So if you guys also want to participate for a chance of getting free osu supporter, and also want to help me with giving me video ideas in case I'm running out of ideas, because I've been looking through the osu game subreddit sometimes and I'm like, holy shit, this is the most dry space ever. Like, I'm trying to look through it and everyone's just showing their scores and then some random shit post, and I'm like, okay, this is fucking boring. Like, I need to see something juicy. So like, having these video ideas gives me some content to work with, so I can make a video every day for you guys. But yeah, if you want to support that, then you can join my Discord server in the link below. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this video, and I'll see y'all.